This week on Etalk, we talk about Taylor Swift's latest album, Danielle gets some fall recipes, we get some tips on all things hair dye, and Allie Lindenberg from I Am That Girl is here. All that and more coming up on Etalk. Hey everyone, welcome to Etalk. I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts, Bridget, Fawn, and Caroline. This week we talked to Elon students to see what they really knew about Ebola.
Hey talkers, it's me, Shannon, and Rachel here on the streets of Elon, and we're gonna find out what people really know about Ebola.
It's a quiz on Ebola.
I don't know anything about it.
Alright, my question for you is, of the people that have gotten Ebola, how many in percentage have died?
84.
Oh, really close. The correct answer is 70.
My question for you is, how many people have been diagnosed with Ebola in the United States? 3. Ah, that's so close. The answer is 4.
So what did you all think about this, and what do you guys know about this, crazy Ebola outbreak?
I think, to be honest, I've actually been very involved with it since the summer. Not involved with it, but I've researched a lot about it because I'm really into health, and I felt that this was something we should all know, even though it's going on all the way in Africa. But the truth is I don't think people are as informed because some people are freaking out, other people are chilled out, and I think the government has done a good job at, relaxing everyone and saying it's all going to be okay, but how much do people really know? What do you guys think?
I don't think they know anything. I think they're very, me included, I don't think I know what the symptoms are, how you can get it. I don't know any of that stuff. And so I feel like not many people can.
Yeah, for me it's like I do know what like some of the symptoms are, but I don't know a lot about it. My thing is when people are making light of it. Like when people are just kind of like, oh my gosh, you sneezed on me, I probably have Ebola now or something like that. Like that's not cool. But a lot of celebrities actually have been kind of like taking a charge. I think Taylor Swift was one of those celebrities that kind of, is like very vocal about it on Twitter. Speaking of Taylor Swift, we have something really interesting.
This is so bizarre, but so Spotify, like everyone loves to listen on Spotify.
Love it.
Apparently Taylor Swift, the president of her record company, took off all of her songs there. So the point was so they could raise sales for her CD and the music on iTunes and stuff like that. So they bumped it off of Spotify and all of those like social listening
What
sites.
is that?
I mean, from a business
know.
standpoint, yes, I understand it. I mean, the music industry has been losing a lot of money because of,
But she made a ton of money the first week, like
But that's
13 million,
right.
I think.
Taylor
Oh,
Swift-
so it was on Spotify originally?
No, CD sales.
Yeah,
like she's
just-
making a boatload
I
of
mean,
money.
I bought the whole CD off of iTunes. I just think, Taylor, you have so much money. Like, she's a...
Share.
If you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not really into, spreading the wealth. That's not really my motto. But, like, when you do have so much money and she's a fun artist, she's young, like,
For me, I just kind
let
of,
it
I think about the PR implications. It's either a brilliant PR move, make her lots of money, or it's going to be a PR nightmare. I just don't know. But another kind of PR thing that's been going on with some celebrities
so
lately.
Katherine Heigl's doing, like, damage control? I would say that's what I would call it. So, I mean, as we've heard, a lot of Shonda Rhimes had called her some, some things.
She's my girl.
We won't say.
Shonda's my girl.
But, everyone's pointing towards, Katherine Heigl is just not easy to work with. She's very rude. And
Wow.
Katherine Heigl just came out and said, oh, that's not me. I'm not rude. To me, it's like when you look at the evidence, where has she been since Grey's Anatomy? Like, she's one movie. So I
And
think she's hard to
girl,
like.
you do not mess with Shonda
Shonda
Rhimes.
Rhimes.
I mean,
Absolutely
come on. She is like
I wouldn't mess with
television
her.
goddess.
Yeah.
I trust her to the utmost, and I can see
You can.
Catherine being a little
I
bit
could-
of a
I
bee.
think
I
it
could
happens
totally
to everybody. Like, and
Right.
for me, I don't understand why celebrities get this way, but like they do, and I understand it now. That of course they're divas.
Right, and I was quite fearful. So I went to Sundance Film Festival my sophomore year, January term, and I was so thrilled, getting very excited to meet all these celebrities. And at that time, I was very much infatuated with Ashton Kutcher, and I knew he was going to be there. I ended up seeing him at Starbucks, of all places, not even on the grounds of the festival, but at Starbucks. And I went up to him expecting him to, want to take a photo, but I did hear he was rude. Sure enough, he had just gotten off the ski slopes in his defense, but he wouldn't take a photo or really talk to me. I was like,
because you work it up in your mind. You're like, oh, the day I meet like my celebrity crush, it's going to be the greatest day of my life,
and then let you down.
Yeah.
You know who I've been let down?
Who's been letting you down?
Amanda
Tell us.
Bynes.
I know.
She just.
Yeah.
I loved the Amanda show.
I
Everything
wish
she
we
did when
could
she
go
was
back to
younger.
that.
She's the man. Like my fave's Gouda. We all love that.
Yeah.
But I think that now it's just really it's hard because she obviously has some sort of mental illness.
yeah,
Like it's
She
really upsetting, and she's just been getting all this flack. I don't know. Like, do you guys think that it's a problem on her end or the media's end or both? Her parents, like.
I think the media really needs. She is just there is something severely wrong. I think more so than Britney Spears lashing out. Like this, there is something wrong, and I think they need to step back and just let her have her privacy and deal with what she's got going on.
It really is a shame, though. As you said, it's the media, and once you're in the light, you can't get out. And I think I was going to talk today about Honey Boo Boo, and I don't know if you guys are a fan of the show or if you've watched it, but if you think about it, it's this little girl, this young little girl who's been through the ringer in terms of the media, but recent news came out, her mother, Mama June, and her father, Sugar Bear, they've been on the rocks lately. I mean, that's been out of sorts for quite some time, but recently Mama June has been in the news because there was this whole controversy about how in the past she had relations with a child molester. And sure enough, I mean, she has all these children, so of all people, that's out of character for her. But she claims that, the relationship is no more, etc. But how did you guys feel about the show being canceled? Were you surprised by that?
I feel like there's this reality TV show curse. And if you go on there, there's all this, who knows if it's true or false, but all this awful press, the Kardashians get it, the Real Housewives of New Jersey, everybody gets it. So it's just, it's inevitable. It's it's going to happen.
Exactly, and I think that's just what show business is, So, but don't go anywhere because up next we talk about the release of Taylor Swift's new album.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to Etalk. I'm here with Abby and Courtney, and we are going to talk about Taylor Swift and her new album. So I know you guys are super excited about it. I'm pretty excited that she released a new album, but do you want to start?
Okay, sure. So I guess my opinion is I was really worried with the singles. Obviously, I love Shake It Off. Everybody loves Shake It Off. It gets stuck in everybody's head. I've caught boys humming Shake It Off, boys who would never listen to Taylor Swift. And so I was excited about that, and I thought the music video was good. And then Out of the Woods came out first, right? And then Welcome to New York.
Yeah.
And I don't really like those songs. I think they're repetitive, and Taylor Swift's the reason I love Taylor Swift is because she's very poetic. Her lyrics are great, and we just didn't get that with Out of the Woods and Welcome to New York.
You want to say something?
I sort of think that she was kind of trying to appeal, she switched to pop. That was the whole thing with 1989, and I think she was trying to appeal to the mass pop audience, and then she was giving you a little taste of what she thinks pop is, and then you get her album, which has so many incredible songs that are really Taylor with her poetic lyrics. Clean is so amazing.
I love Clean.
Clean is so, and Wildest Dreams.
Wildest Dreams is very Lana.
It's so
Lana
good.
Del Rey.
Yeah, I love it.
That's my favorite song.
Yeah,
on the,
I get that.
album.
But I think she was just trying to the singles. She normally releases more singles.
She does.
And I think the singles she was trying to release was to show poppy
a wide
Taylor.
range.
I don't mind that she switched to pop. When she released the rest of the album, like I said, I was pretty worried about the two singles. But once she released the album, I love the rest of the album. It's
Okay.
so good.
I'm so sorry to disappoint.
you
I
disagree.
love Taylor. Sometimes I get a little frustrated when she's like dating this new boy and this new boy. So like sometimes she gets a little too much for me. But I normally like her songs. But I think what I like the most is her country vibe. Like I appreciated that, like a young artist who is kind of like can be on the red carpet for like the Grammys or something, but then is also like at the Country Music Awards. Like she can go back and forth, and now I don't like that it's this like strictly pop.
I watched this interview with her, and she was asked if she thinks that like the country world was surprised that she switched to pop, and she said she doesn't think anybody's surprised. I don't think anybody really is surprised.
No, I mean I think
she's
we
been
saw it
heading in
coming.
that direction. She
Yeah.
said she said people may be surprised that she was honest about switching to pop,
Okay.
which I think is true.
Yeah.
Like I don't think a lot of people thought that she would admit like, yeah, I'm pop now. I'm not country, and I admit to that. So
And maybe it was just like the door in. Like she
Yeah.
saw a spot in country and she took it, and now she doesn't want to do with it.
I know. I watched her documentary. She loved country music as she was younger, but I think she was just trying to find herself. I think she was getting tired of the whole country thing, and we all saw it coming. And I love how self-aware she is.
She's
like
so self-aware.
Her
Blank Space.
Blank Space is 100% so honest, Taylor, about boys and everything.
She's gotten
and
a little
mind.
more scandalous
Yeah,
with this album.
and I
She's
love
like,
it.
From Blank
that.
Space, like
Yeah.
I can make the bad boys good for a
she's
weekend.
getting
like,
away from
There you go, Taylor.
what everyone expects her to be and is
Right.
being her. And like she's admitted, like she's focusing on herself now. Like I haven't seen Taylor with a boy since Harry Styles.
Yeah,
I
and
li-
I think most
like
of the
that.
album is probably about.
That's
Harry.
what everybody's saying.
Last
That
one.
every song they're like, oh, like Harry Styles has hair. Like most boys have hair. But they're going for it. They're trying to make any connection.
Style is like unquestionably.
I guess,
about
but
Harry
apparently
Styles,
it's Out
but,
of the
like,
Woods is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got in
He
like
got in
a car crash. And they had
no,
to
it
get,
was a snowmobile accident, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a car.
I
Well,
thought
Look
they
at
got
you experts
stitches,
go.
Someone
hospital
got-
room,
yeah.
you know. So yeah.
Okay, well, what is your favorite song on the album, the new album?
I Know Places. I just
Okay.
love the sound on it, and I love like they are the hunters, we are the foxes. It's just so descriptive, and it's.
I like Wildest Dreams. We mentioned it a
Yeah.
little before.
That's the one stuck in my head right now, but I like
Oh.
Style best.
I like Style a lot too.
It's
And
just,
Blank
like,
Space,
catchy.
I like how honest
No,
Blank Space
all
is.
the songs are really like
Yeah.
it's Taylor. They're catchy songs.
Okay, wait, I have one more question. What's your all-time favorite?
Taylor song?
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
Okay,
like,
ready? I'll tell you
going
mine.
back-
You Belong With Me, because I love the music video.
I mean,
Classic.
my classic Taylor song is "Picture the Burn" because
That's a
that's
good
like
one.
my angry,
Yeah.
angsty song. That's
Yeah.
like
I think
country.
I'm gonna say All Too Well for me because
Oh.
that's the
That's a
lyric
good one.
Those
That's
are
a
great
That's a really
lyrics.
good one. I liked most of the. She's good. I don't know. I'm just a little hesitant about this first album. All right, so thanks guys for joining us. Stick around because up next Danielle finds out some fun new recipes to try.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Hi Etalkers, I'm Danielle here with my hallmate Haley, and she's going to make for us today some no-bake cookies. So how did you come about this idea of not baking the cookies?
Well, I was studying for a test, and it was late at night, and I didn't want to study anymore. So when I get tired of studying, I usually end up cooking something, but baking takes a long time, and you have to wait for it, and this way I could just eat it as soon as it was done.
Perfect. All right, so what is our first ingredient?
All right, so the first ingredient, I do a mixture of crunchy and creamy peanut butter.
Is there a reason for that?
Because I have both, and because I don't want it to be too crunchy from the peanuts. So the creamy just gives a better texture, I think.
And this is a recipe that you just made up, right? You just decided you didn't want to bake and just rolled with it?
Pretty much. I just threw some ingredients in a bowl.
Perfect. So do you know about how much peanut butter do you usually use?
I would say maybe a half a cup total between the two. And you can really add whatever amounts you want. It's
So you can make it completely with sweet peanut butter, with crunchy peanut butter.
Of course, whatever you like or whatever you have on hand. to have both, apparently. All right, so that should be good with peanut butter. And you can mix it because, well, you have to mix everything eventually.
And these have no eggs, right? So they are completely safe to eat without any heat?
Yes. No eggs, no baking powder, baking soda, anything.
All right, so once it's all mixed, perfect.
That's what it looks like. All right. So next, you can just add the rest of the ingredients pretty much. Vanilla, just because I love the flavor, and you don't need to cook it, so that will work out. And
You just eyeballing everything?
Everything, yeah. Just however much you feel like putting in. I like a lot of vanilla, so I tend to add more.
Okay, so roughly like a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, would you say?
Yeah,
for
probably
everyone at home trying to replicate the recipe.
Yeah, sorry that I don't measure everything.
I mean, some of the best recipes come from just playing around, so
Exactly.
it's great.
You can mix as you go, or you can just wait until you add everything in the end. And then I'm gonna add some brown sugar.
All right.
Again, eyeballing it. I'll try to come up with the amount.
For you?
Yep. The brown sugar flavor is really good, I think, with the peanut butter. I think it tastes better than just regular sugar. This is probably 2 tablespoons
Okay.
of brown sugar. And it'll mix in well with the peanut butter eventually.
It smells great right now. All right, what's our last ingredient in the bowl here?
The last one in the bowl is going to be flour, so that they firm up and actually turn into somewhat of like a ball. So
A cookie kind of shape.
Yeah, the flour just helps it hold shape. I mean, I guess you could eat it like this, but it'd be weird.
With a spoon, that would be kind of nice. All right.
Let's see how that works out.
Mix that all together. And that was probably about
a quarter cup, maybe?
We'll see. All right, definitely looks more like a cookie dough texture now. All right. There we go.
All right, and so then the last thing that I do, because I really like dark chocolate, extra dark chocolate, it's healthier if it's more than, I think it's like 60% dark.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
And so this is just the dark chocolate that I had at home. That's from Rome, from a friend.
Wow, we get Roman 72% Roman dark chocolate.
You know, just the college life. So I just chop it up because I had a block of chocolate instead of like chocolate
Mini
chips.
chocolate chips or anything.
Either way works. The mini chocolate chips are really easy, but this is fine too.
And it's just however much chocolate you want to add in there?
Yeah, I end up rolling the dough in the chocolate. I don't mix it. And so it's really just however much you want to top the cookies.
Perfect. Our mix or our cookie dough, and we've got our chocolate. What's the last step?
You just make them into like small balls so that it's like a cookie, and then you roll it in the chocolate.
All right. And about how big, like an inch or so?
Yeah, it's just really whatever you want. If you want smaller ones, you can have more over a longer period of time, or if you just want big cookies.
So they should be about cookie dough consistency, not too sticky, right?
Yeah.
And if they are too sticky, how do you fix that?
You just add more flour.
Okay.
Because that's the thing that's going to keep them so they can form into a ball.
Perfect.
All right,
you just roll them?
Yeah.
All right. I want mine to have lots of chocolate on it.
It's a good way to go.
This looks amazing. All right, you ready?
Let's try it.
That's really good. That's delicious.
I've come up with a family emergency plan.
What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Welcome back. We're here with Isis Malone to talk hair dyeing. So Isis, what's your biggest tip for at-home dyeing?
Well, my biggest tip would be researching. It's when I first started hair dyeing myself and not going to professional, I didn't realize how much damage it actually does to my hair because my hair is like an afro kind of texture, honestly. And that's why these curls are looser than the curls back here because I did a lot of processing, like bleaching to the forefront of my hair. And so, but if you happen to do that, ways to like reverse your damaging is like deep conditioning is like
perfect.
Like a leave-in.
Like a leave-in conditioner. Like you sleep with it overnight and just wash it out in the morning, and it's perfect, especially for the winter months.
So, question. So when you say do research, what do you?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. Like just like tutorials on
tutorials,
how to
exactly. Or Google research. Like if you want, okay, I have this kind of texture hair. What kind of bleach should I use?
Right.
What to stay away from? And if I do bleach my hair, like how long should I leave it in? If like the new ombre look, like I've done ombre on my friends, and I've found ways to like make their hair. Like Devin Gailey, my roommate, she wanted to change, and how I did her hair was the first time I ever attempted doing someone else's hair.
Great.
So what I did was I dyed her roots like a dark brown chocolate, and I had her laying down, and then as that was processing, I took bleach, and I had a developer, and then I just highlighted her tips first, left it in for like 5-10 minutes, depending how light she wanted, and then gradually move up, so then her actual color would just lighten to the point where like there's not gonna be a harsh line difference between the dark and the brown and then the blonde.
Wow, that is such a great tip.
Yeah.
So, do you have any brands that you like using, maybe for specific hair types or overall?
Actually, I found out that there's not really that much difference between like African American hair and Caucasian hair, at least when it comes to like bleaching.
Okay.
I like Ion. It's like a purple thing you can find at Sally's, and it's like a packet, and it's really good for. I think it's the most safest.
Okay.
It's less harsh, but there is a brand that is becoming more popular. It's like Shea Moisturizer, and they have like no ammonia and no like other like
commercials or something.
Yeah, it's all very natural, and it's like.
And that's what I worry about, honestly, putting all these chemicals. When I'm looking at shampoo and conditioner, I look and I'm like, what are all these things I'm putting in my hair?
Yeah, like
so
I can't say I've ever really been concerned with that.
No, I'm weird. I'm always. I think ever since I got into health, I'm always a label looker.
No,
I'm a
you
label
should.
looker.
You should.
I really should learn from this. But it's really amazing because in like different from food, you're not, I guess, supposed to be able to pronounce the chemicals on the back of a shampoo bottle. Yeah. So I stick to my herbal essences. I love that.
Yes,
and that
I've heard
hasn't-
good things.
It's been good so far, but I'm gonna be a little selfish for a hot second. I guess I'm really interested in coloring my hair. A natural way to start, but do you have any recommendations, or do you say the world is your oyster, try it all out? But
I tried it all out, and it worked fine. But like, if you're like really like nervous, depends on what kind of color. If you're going, it's always harsher on darker hair going light than it is to go dark. If that makes sense. Yeah. So depending on what you want to do to your hair, like depending on the texture, you're great for like going any color because your hair doesn't have to be bleached at all. Like with this, you would have to bleach. If she had, so you can tell by her eyebrows, she had to bleach the heck out of her hair to get it to be platinum. And to get it to be that kind of pink, I would suggest getting like a manic panic red and then putting conditioner in it. And with the conditioner, what it does is like it lightens it up to like a pastel kind of color.
That's such
because it's
that's
very
so
good for you and stuff. It actually adds more conditioning and moisturizing. So you're like deep conditioning your hair as you're dyeing it. If that makes sense. Which is what I've been recommending to a lot of my friends.
Right. No, I've done like highlights and like a lighter color. And really, and my hair never really gets that dry, but it really dries it out. So
Definitely.
you have to be so
bleach
careful. It
dries your hair.
Okay.
Especially like you don't really realize depending on like where you live, like weather and stuff
The
can
kind of
like
water you use.
water you use, what you eat even can determine how your dyeing treatment will affect.
Really?
Like like it can like even like what's it called? Like fade out your hair color.
Yeah.
And depending on what kind of wash, like if there's certain kind of chemicals that is in your water, like people are like really have it down to a science to how to take care of your hair.
For color treated hair, like for Bridget, if she were to color her hair, what kind of shampoo, like brands, would you suggest?
Okay, honestly, anything like if you have herbal essence that is or Tresemme, they have like color protectant like natural shampoos that you can use.
That's great.
If you're worried about it and it's like a temporary dye, dry shampoo is good for you, so you can just still clean your scalp as well, and it won't like destroy like your color and that kind of stuff. They even have like shampoo, not shampoo, they have conditioner you can spray on your hair too. So you really don't even have to wash your hair sometimes. Like you are washing your hair, but you don't actually have to like strip your hair of the color that you have.
Okay, that's fascinating.
Tips.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Next up, Casey sits down with Allie Lindenberg from I Am That Girl. Stay tuned.
same time next week?
Well, of course.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Gone. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We're back here with Allie Lindenberg from I Am That Girl. Allie, tell us a little bit about what you do with this organization.
I Am That Girl is basically a nonprofit, and the mission is to build communities of women that are turning self-doubt into self-love, and so there are hundreds of chapters all over the world, and we have one at Elon.
Okay, so you started this chapter, and how did you get this started? What gave you this idea? Have you done it before? Or?
Yeah, I have been involved since I was like 15, just kind of, they do a lot of healthy media stuff, so I was kind of involved in like the social media sphere.
Was it through your high school, or just did you just?
I just stumbled upon it on the internet.
That's so amazing.
And so
cool.
I looked into it. I was like, this is awesome. But they only had college chapters, and I was like, darn, I guess I can't do it because I was still in high school. And then by my senior year, I just got up the courage to contact them and say, you know, I'm really passionate about this. Can I start a chapter? And so I ended up being the first high school chapter leader turned college chapter leader. So I started one in high school. It wasn't just for my high school. We had girls from several high schools around our city. And then I got to Elon, and I was like, this is something that we could use
you want to
here.
continue. Yeah. So how did you get your start at Elon? I know we talked about this before. It's a little bit of a funny story.
Yeah. Well, I started like 3 weeks into school. I contacted our like national chapter leader who coordinates all the chapters, and I was like, I'm ready, I want to do this. And she was like, are you sure? Like, if you're still transitioning in college. But I really missed it in my life, and I thought it would brighten other people's lives. And so it started out, I lived in West dorm room, and we had 8 girls at our first meeting, just in a dorm. And it took us all year to become a student organization. We ran into an issue of being shut down at first and having to come back and repropose, and finally the last day of school we got our approval.
That's amazing, and it's great that you just started it, spread the word yourself. It seemed kind of like you got the word out there, and you really proved to them like we need this chapter on campus, which is great. So tell us today, how many people do you have in your organization, in your chapter?
So we have an online space where we post like relevant articles to what we talk about. We have about 175 girls online there, and then coming to our meetings, we have about between 60 and 70 each week at our large group meetings.
That you guys grew so fast. I mean, this is our first year. Oh my gosh. So what do you do each week? You meet once a week, and so you kind of have like a theme each week. What was this week's theme?
So this past week, our theme was, we talk a lot about girl culture, and our theme was kind of surrounded around competition in girl culture, and why are we so competitive? What do we compete over? Why is this something that's so prevalent in girl culture in our society? And so that was our theme, and then we also talked about our Love Me for Our Mind campaign, which we launched this past Saturday. So the meeting just kind of revolved around talking about that and then gearing up for this campaign.
Right, and that's amazing. I did happen to see a friend of mine post on Instagram the Love Me for My Mind. You guys started that hashtag, and it kind of spread, and other people have been using it this past week.
Yeah, our intention was just to do it for our chapter. A girl in our chapter had the idea, Biz Barker, and we were like, yes, this is awesome. It'll be our first social media campaign. Let's do it. And I'm kind of the liaison to between local and the national level, and so I posted it in the national page and was like, hey guys, would you be interested in this? And chapters from across the world even jumped in. People from Brazil, Lebanon, across the country were like, yes, let's do it. And so
this is great. So another, we talked before, and you told me something else that was so exciting. Your trip that you went on, can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got picked for that?
Yeah. So this year, I Am That Girl hosted its first leadership retreat in Malibu, California. It was over our fall break, and it was honestly a dream. It was one of the most life-changing things I've ever experienced. And basically, it was the founders, the headquarter of the nonprofit is in LA. And so they invited 15 chapter leaders from across the country to participate in this 3-day retreat. And they selected, I guess, the people that have been, really dedicated and shown great leadership. And I got the call in late August and was completely blown away.
High five,
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
awesome. My gosh. Well, Thank you so much for being here, Allie. We really appreciate it. That's all we have for you today, but remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Until next time, this is Etalk.